What up, homeboys? The numbers of Pandaria are already in, and you know I gotta make a video on it. Either way, I was gonna make a video on it because everybody's question was, is Pandaria gonna fail? Is Pandaria gonna work out? Well, now we can know. I did an event the other day and we were in Stormwind and the city was conspicuously empty like right now. You can see there is not a lot of people. It is currently like 7 PM. It is not quite peak time yet, but gosh, it is quite empty. I assumed it was because everybody was raiding, so we got the raid logs of the first lockout. Where are those raid logs? We are in Ironforge Pro right now, and this little line right here is the first lockout of Pandaria. And before I waste your time, 157,000 people. It means that 157,000 characters, not persons, players, characters, raided and killed at least one boss in Mogushan Bolts. The wall bosses do not count, it's only Mogushan Bolts. Now if you compare it to the little peak in Cataclysm, Cataclysm did 200,000 on the first lockout. And that was considered bad. If you compare it to the first good lockout in TBC, it was like also 250k. Leveling in TBC took a bit longer, of course. So you can see it kept going up and up and up the more people hit level 70. As you can see, Cataclysm peaked at about 317,000, but the first lockout was 209,000. Now, there is some things you gotta remember. We got a free boost from Season of Discovery. Almost everybody that's playing got the free Balnazar kill and they got a free level 85 boost. So a lot of people got a really good chance to start in MoP. If you were in SOD and you wanted to play MoP, you had a really good, easy way to do it. So you would expect a lot more people would be trying it out. But as you can see, this is like what, a 25% downgrade from Cataclysm? Let me tell you one thing though, 85 to 90 takes a long time. I think in my opinion it was a serious mistake and it will cost them a lot of players. We got pre-nerf XP values, so that means we're like a third slower to hit level 90, and that will mean that there is less people level 90 yet. You know, like if you only got like 1 or 2 hours to play a day and you just quest, you are probably hitting level 90 like a couple days ago. And I fully expect the numbers to go up, but even then, Pandaria is still clearly underperforming Cataclysm. Rat of the Lich King, not even, that goes without saying. Classic WoW, now Classic WoW you had to start, the raids were open like the first lockout, the first week I think, right? So you had like a gradual climb of people hitting 60, like the insane people back here, and then like normal people were slowly getting 60 and raiding, of course. TBC came up almost instantly, but like once again it peaked at like 6 weeks in, it just kept going up. We saw a really interesting pattern in Cataclysm, and I think this pattern is gonna exacerbate. Everybody went into Cataclysm because there was nothing going on in SOD at the moment at the time it came out. That's not an accident, by the way. They abandoned SOD to prop up Cataclysm, and we got like 3 weeks. People kept trying to do tier 11, and I think I call this the heroic Sinestra effect, okay? 3 weeks in, people say, okay, we did normal quite a bit, we got a lot of gear, we're gonna try heroic Sinestra, guys. And everybody was like, yep, I'm out. Then Firelands came out and like it like coasted at like 120,000 players more or less, and then of course Dragon Soul, no more content, and like people kept quitting, but that's also normal, that's to be expected. You can see it happening in Rat of the Lich King and TBC and Classic. That's normal. What is not normal is to get a big ass peak like this and then fall like this. To most people, Cataclysm was a disaster. Maybe disaster is not a correct word, maybe disaster is a little too harsh, but it is by far not even close, by a factor of 3, the least performing expansion we got so far in Classic, and Pandaria is doing less than that. I am not surprised. I said it before, the second people got to do the dailies, the second people find out how to get actual gear when you hit level 90, people were gonna quit, and I think a lot of people did not make it to Mogushan Bolts, and they are already done. Now, why am I having so much fun with Pandaria? Reputation tab, friendly with Shadowpan. Do you see how I never even met the daily factions? I haven't done a single daily. I spent all my time farming gold. I did the 24 token project. You know, I made a ton of gold and I went to GDKPs. And Mogushan Bolts is actually a fun raid. I like the mechanics. The flanking orders and Elegon, they are really fun mechanics. I think it's a really creative raid. But if you gotta farm freaking dailies to get in it, a lot of people are not gonna do it. Let's go to the world chat. You're gonna see what I mean. There is one advertisement for a raid. It is a Thursday night almost. You know, like people would be trying to get get a server, you see right there, like in an hour there's a raid going on, 8 p.m. that's like peak, only 1 hour, one raid is getting advertised, and everybody wants to know your item level. Now, I don't think people would expect you to get less than 460. I got super lucky on Elegon, not Elegon, Galleon, the world boss, and I got 2 epic items right here, so that's propping up my item level a lot. We also spent a night messing in arenas with Jerome, and I got my mace, so that's also freaking huge, of course. But most people that haven't done the dailies, they are like 450, 460, 463 is the best you can get in heroics. Like, this is a heroic item drop, right? Will Celestial Dungeons change that? Yes, Celestial Dungeons will make it so people can get pretty decent gear very consistently without chores, and those people might eventually be allowed to raid, but put yourself in the feet of like a normal player, not me, the guy that plays and farms gold 10 hours a day and bought 24 tokens for fun. I am subscribed until 2027 now, God knows what I'm gonna do. Say you got like 2 hours, it will take you an entire week of your free time, probably more, to hit level 90. Now you hit level 90, you are behind, and you gotta do like daily chores every single day, and you gotta have an optimized route, because they tell you, yeah, if you do it right, it's only 30 minutes. Yeah, you gotta like look up how to do that, and you gotta memorize the route. It's not like a normal person can do it in 30 minutes, and it will take you like a week or 2 of farming those daily chores until you can get some decent pieces. And that's not including heroic dungeon grinding, that's not including valor farming, because you need valor to buy gear. Fun story, actually, because I have no reputation, I had nowhere to spend my valor. I was getting valor cap, so I actually went up and I changed all my valor to conquest, and I got my weapon. That's what I did. 20 arena games and all my valor, and there you go, I got my weapon. Little trick. If you are not gonna do dailies, that's the trick you can do. But will a person that got level 90 like a week later and has to farm all the heroics just to realize that the heroic gear is not even good, and then they gotta go do the dailies, or they gotta get super lucky on a wall boss? Because I got super lucky. My homie Jerome, he got nothing, and he did it twice, right? We got 2 lockouts. Just so maybe, just maybe, you are gonna be able to go into a Mogushan Bolts, and maybe, just maybe, you're gonna kill a few bosses, and maybe, just maybe, you're gonna get something decent. Say what you will, I know you're gonna keep people in the comments, you're gonna say, oh, those people suck, oh, they don't know what to do, their gear sucks, they shouldn't be allowed to go. I get it. Compare that to Classic WoW. You hit 60, do you wanna go to a raid? Yes. Thank you. Welcome. Compare that to TBC. Are you 70? Yes. Are you a shaman? Okay, we need 5 of you. But I am in greens. I don't care. We need 5 of you. The barrier of entry to MoP is even higher than Cataclysm because of the initial time investment. It's also killing alts. That's another thing in the population. As I said, this is characters, unique characters. And because leveling from 85 to 90 takes so much longer for no reason, people are not playing on alts. And you might be saying, okay, so that will mean that there is more real players in MoP? Perhaps. It is possible, but it also means that there is a lot less raids going on. And if there is a lot less people raiding, a lot less characters raiding, that's less groups you can get into, that's less demand for players, and in turn that also will mean that people are likely to quit because they cannot find a good group. Alts are important. Alts are even more important than mains for the health of the pogging community. Why? Because people that are good players, they got a main and they go to serious raids, and then they get their alts and they pog them, and those people with their alts, they know the mechanics and they carry the raids. We need people to play alts for the health of the pogging community. If we are supposed to run a pog with people that never killed Elegon before, that is going to suck. And a lot of people are gonna quit. I know we got this debate every time of like, should the casuals win or should the hardcore people win? How do we make it so they are both happy? I think the real answer to that question is that hardcore players and casual players should be able to mingle together and play together and not hate each other. And any design that will not make it so that happens is gonna be toxic and it will kill the game. And because of the daily chores and because of the time investment it takes, raising the bar with not a lot in between, the really good players hate the casual players and they never want to talk to each other, and the entire ecosystem in the server is damaged because of that. And I think we're gonna see a lot more of that. And that takes me to the conclusion of this video, like the big question that's gonna come out next. If Pandaria is doing worse than Cataclysm and I expect it to keep doing worse, what is gonna happen with World Classic? I think the answer is pretty obvious. I don't think we're getting World Classic. I do not see a world where Warlords of Draenor Classic will get more than 100,000 people. I just don't see it. And on top of that, I got another theory, and this might be like a real conspiracy theory. Classic is supposed to serve the Classic audience, right? Like people that quit retail a long time ago. Like Ebonheart made a joke that the people that play Pandaria Classic are just people that don't want to play retail anymore. If you ask any retail player that keeps playing today what's the expansion they are the most nostalgic for, almost all of them are gonna say Legion. I think Legion, not because it would fail, but because it would cannibalize, it would take away too many people from retail, it is not going to happen. I know, it is bonkers, it is a little crazy, but think about it. Retail makes like a magnitude more money than Classic, so like if they lose retail people to Classic, that's actually bad for Blizzard. Blizzard doesn't want that to happen. And we also saw the polls of people asking, do you want to go to retail with your characters from MoP? Do you want to have MoP era? Do you want to go to Warlords of Draenor Classic if it is available? That was the questions in the survey poll. I cannot show mine, private information sadly, but you can look it up. I think this is gonna be the conclusion of the entire Classic progression. What are we gonna get next? Is it gonna be Classic Plus? Is it gonna be something good? I don't know. I can only hope. But either way, I know people were gonna be very curious asking me how MoP is doing, because that's all we freaking talk about all day. There you go. Not great. Not great. We are now live on Twitch every day. I'm gonna be live tonight. We got a raid on Saturday, so also tune into that. We got a bunch of streamers in that raid. We're gonna do like a streamer GDKP event. And subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.